Hello guys, I'll see you again. Today I will be discussing assignment 2. Remember, all assignments employ the concept of simple or multiple regressions or econometrics to predict, to forecast future events. Let us review simple linear regressions because many of you ask, what is simple regression? What is multiple regressions? As a statistical method for obtaining straight line formula to predict the value of dependent variable y, for example, from an explanatory variable or independent variable of x. So y in the vertical axis, x in the horizontal axis. The dependent variable y in this case is the annual revenues of, for example, British train tickets sold in the form of millions in pounds. So for example, in this lecture, the dependent variable is revenue from ticket, while the independent variable x is weekly advertising expenses, represented in thousands of pounds. So if you look at the table 1, there is a data in the advertising expenses x and the sales revenue y of British train ticket. So before looking at the variable, you need to look at the theory. Say, in this case, you need to look at the marketing theory, which states that the advertising will increase sales. Why? Because it's alerting, reminding current and potential customers about new product launches, for example, special offers, improvement in British rails. In addition, advertising developed distinctive brand image. Therefore, when British Railways increases spending on advertising, people are expected to travel more. There is a trend that more advertising would lead to more sales revenues. So this is important. So for example, if you want to regress variable, you need to look at the theory that I'd like to see in your assignment. What kind of theory that you look at? You cannot just regress anything. You need to look at the theory. The formula for simple regression is provided. It's a simple one. Y equals beta 0 plus beta 1x. So the beta 0 and beta 1 will be estimated by SPSS automatically. So you don't have to worry about math or statistics behind it. So your task is to interpret in layman language. For example, you can look at scatter diagram of the data. It shows in figure 1. Is it positive relationship or negative relationships? If you look at figure 1, a scatter diagram of the ticket sales and advertising expenses showing like positive relationship. When the advertising expenses increases, the more advert about the British Rail in television or in YouTube or in other social media, the more people traveling by train, the more revenue of British Rail. So SPSS has estimated regression line as y equals 0.5 plus 1x. If you see the SPSS output here. Remember, my interest to translate the SPSS output into layman language. You cannot just provide, I repeat again, you cannot just provide table, graph, figures. You need to provide plain English explanations. For example, the intercept here constant equal 0.5, which is the intersection between the regression line, the vertical axis, 0.5. It also indicates the value of y when x is 0. In contrast, the slope is the steepness, like this steep. Is it 30 degree or 90 degree, and so on. So the slope has very strong interpretation in SPSS. For example, if 0.5 means when the x increase 1 unit, the y will increase 0.5 unit. So this is the one that you need to emphasize in your assignment. So if you want to run a regression, for example, and to run the scatter diagram, you can click select analyze, regression, select curve estimation, and drag y into the right hand side as dependent variable, and then dragging x into the right hand side as the independent variable. Then you need to select linear and click OK, which will produce the SPSS output in figure 4 scatter diagram. You look at it. What is the pattern? This is the first task. Normally I ask my student, see the graph. What is the pattern, trend, cyclical, seasonal? See the graph. While in the figure 3a and 3b is the SPSS command, the figure 4 is the SPSS graph of the regression y equal 0.5 plus 1x. So now we come to the questions. What is the difference between assignment 1 and assignment 2? In assignment 1, the objective is to forecast, to predict a variable by using its lagging value. For example, if we can forecast the number of COVID-19 patients, remember the example last week? Depending on the variable itself, lag value of one variable, or maybe first difference. Look at the historical pattern. Look at the variable itself, internal, time trend, time. For example, you can see the equation yt equals beta 0 plus beta 1 yt minus 1. Variable. Yt equal beta 0 plus beta 1 yt minus 1. Yt equals beta 0 plus beta 1 t, or the other one is first difference in yt, function of first difference in yt minus 1. This analysis is known in the stock market, if you forecast stock market, as a technical analysis. The concept is the same. You can apply to any area. So in the assignment one, you forecast variable depending on itself. Technical analysis. When in the assignment 2, you look at more fundamental analysis. Variable is function of external variable, other variable not variable by itself. So the variable of function of external variable can be economic, can be environment. Say for example, if you look at the COVID-19 patient in the assignment 1, you regress with the variable lag value itself. In the assignment 2, you need to think, what is the COVID-19 patient depend? What variable affecting the COVID-19 patient, whether more infection or less infection? You look at the external variables that influencing Y. These external variables can include, for example, x1 as the number of the fully vaccinated populations. So the logic suggests that the higher x1, the more people vaccinated, the lower y1, the lower COVID-19 patient, because less infection. And then x2 can be the number of people who break COVID-19 lockdown rules. As reported by the police, the data is available. You can obtain the data freely from the police website or National Statistical Office. In this case, the logic is the more people breaking the breakdown rule, the higher the COVID-19 patient. Because more infection will increase the patient. Therefore, the higher the number of COVID-19 patients, algebraically, it can be written as yt equals beta 0, beta 1, x1, t minus 1, beta 2, x2, t minus 1. So x1, x2. Remember, if you want to forecast one period ahead, you need to log the variable by one period, the simple one, annually. However, if you want to forecast 2 periods ahead, 2 days, 2 months, or 2 years, you need to log the variable by 2 periods. If you look at the function yt, beta 0, beta 1, t minus 2, and t minus 2, 2 periods. You lost 2 observation. And in order to create the log variable in SPSS, you need to click transform. Transform, compute, see figure 5, then define lx1, for example, as variable x logging 1 period, click all, then scroll down to double click log 1. Next, you can type log bracket x, 1 for logging 1, or type log x, 2 for logging 2 period. Click data view to view the logging data, figure 6. You can also create natural logarithmic of the variable to see the findings by using transform command. If you want to run regression, click analyze regression linear, drag the y and the right hand side as given in variable, dragging lx1, not x, remember, like given period, to the right hand side as an independent variable. From the equation, then you can manually calculate the forecasted value. So figure 5 is the SPSS command, figure 6 the log data, figure 7 is the SPSS output of regression line. So according to SPSS output, figure 7, the regression is y equal 1.5 plus 1 lx1. So the forecasted value can be calculated by multiplying the slope, which is 1, by 6. Why 6? If you look at the table 1, the last data of x, to forecast the next period. See table 1. So yt equals 1.5 plus 1 times 6 equals 7.5, the forecasted value. In summary, the fundamental analysis look at the fundamental aspect of the variable to forecast. Look at the external variables. Can be macro, micro, marketing theory, finance theory, look at this. So this is, I'm expecting you to write the theory in your assignment. In this case, to predict the train ticket revenue Y, you can include the additional variable, Z for example, as the price of coach ticket, as substitute product. V for example, as people disposable income, as proxy by gross national income. Because you have the theory of economics and the other theory of economic and like marketing, in which the number of train tickets sold depend also the price of the coach or bus tickets, like substitute. So the more expensive the bus ticket, more people will not travel by bus because expensive. They travel by train as a substitute product. Economic theory. And also people who have more money, social economic theory, will travel more by train because train can be considered luxurious public transport compared to bus. So the higher the gross national income, the higher people spending, the more train ticket will be sold. You look at the function there, yt, x1 and function x1, z and v. Basically, in assignment 2 you can forecast anything, but you need to look at the theory, you need to explain in the theory. There are many examples, secondary data, massive amount of data, can be from UK, Office for National Statistics, World Bank, International Monetary Fund, the United States Census Bureau, or Yahoo Stock Exchange for cryptocurrency. So remember, what is the theory behind it? You look at the theory and you explain there in layman language, interpretation, what does the number mean? If you have any problem, I don't know the meaning of it, email me. Okay guys, I'll see you.